Now, here's a question for you. Are you the life and soul of the party, or do you prefer chilling by yourself? Or you can be a mix of both. You like both.
Yes, understanding your personality traits benefit us in the long run. And here to explain more is psychologist Dr. Logan Buckley. Good morning to you. And it's very interesting because we hear all the time of you're an introvert or you're an extrovert. So what's the definition of an introvert and an extrovert?
Sure. So a lot of the times there's kind of a negative connotation that's put to them. Oh, so if you're an introvert, you're very shy. If you're an extrovert, you're very loud. You're the kind of life and soul of the party. But actually what they are is it's our way of navigating the world. And it's actually what makes us energised and actually then what makes us calm and relaxed. And that's what they're down to. Introverts are people where if they're in solitude or in smaller social situations where they don't have a big social demand put on them, that recharges them. That makes them feel, okay, I can go out in the world now and I'm ready for it. Whereas for extroverts, it's the opposite. They actually get drained in solitude or if they're not with other people. And when you put them out into social situations, that actually energises them. So it's actually about what energises someone and actually what drains them. So a lot of the time, I think we've had a misunderstanding about what introverts are and what extroverts are.
So can you enjoy hanging out with loads of people and being the life and soul of the party, but being able to then, when you step away, being able to rest and kind of regather your energy again? Or do you think that you need to be around people if you want to be extroverted?
So for extroverts, you need to be around people. That's where it is. It's kind of, if we think about this all in a spectrum, on one end you've got extroverts and the other end you've got introverts. So there's a spectrum, but in the middle you've got one called an ambivert, which a lot of people actually haven't heard about. And a lot of people fall into this category. It's where they can take the traits of both extroversion and introversion. So you're someone that might be very, very adapted socially. You like going to the party. You're very good at making small talk. You know when to speak when you want to. You can also be a little bit quieter when you feel the need to be. But what it is as well is that you know, okay, I can do 2 days of socialising and I know then that's my battery kind of ran out. I'm going to go home and I'm going to spend some time myself. I'm going to do some drawing, I'm going to do some reading, I'm going to listen to music, we're going to spend time in nature, and then that'll recharge me to do it again. So it's that real kind of flexible and adaptability.
So are most people then ambiverts?
We're all like that,
because we all maybe like to go out and enjoy it. But then, oh yeah, no, I've done that now. Like everybody says, oh, that was a mad weekend. I just want to now close the door and not do anything for a few days.
So it all puts down, if we think about, I suppose, the Irish culture, we're a culture of going out, having the crack, kind of doing stuff like that as well. So what happens is a lot of people push themselves into those social situations when in fact it's actually not it. So I'll give you an example. If you were to walk into a lift, right, and there's one other person in the lift, what would you do?
I'd probably just nod and go, hello.
Okay.
But I'd never strike up a conversation.
Okay.
I'd probably ask him a question.
You probably ask him a question.
What number are you going to?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So you'd have some sort of a small talk.
Well, I might do that, like, are you going to...
It doesn't talk to anyone.
So...
No, I wouldn't.
Head down, walk straight back out again.
I would, but that's a shyness in me.
So,
see, people always think that I'm very extrovert because of the way I am here or whatever. There is a shyness there. So I would just say hello, and I might sort of say, oh, number 4, are you going to ground or something like that? But I would never, ever start a conversation.
So that's an ambivert. Okay, so you've both given the traits of being an ambivert there. What would happen is if you're a true introvert, you would say nothing and you'd probably pop in your headphones, or you might take out your book, or you might take out your phone and do something. If you're an extrovert, you cannot wait to start chatting to that person. You are like, oh yes, there's only one person in this elevator with me, let's go. So the thing is, it is actually, we come somewhere around the spectrum, but there are people, if we think about people who are in the very creative field, so academia, people who are into the arts, they tend to lean more towards the introspection. That's an area of real good strength for them. If we think about maybe other careers that, for example, you said it there, media, we kind of expect someone to be more extroverted. We all kind of fall in that continuum, the line, but it's about knowing which one you are, because a lot of the time what we do is we put negative connotations on them, but we also kind of force ourselves to lean into another one that actually isn't comfortable for us. So can you ever think about a time where you've put yourself under too much social demand, and what was the consequence at the end of it?
You're drained.
You're absolutely wrecked. Whereas you probably realise, you might think, I'm really extroverted, I have to keep doing this, when in fact you're not.
See, for people who are introverted, is there negative connotations to that? because they're seen that they don't want to go out and socialise people. It's almost in society, people might look down on that, do they?
So this is it. I think people get a misunderstanding. So you actually brought up the word shy. A lot of people, you think, oh, that person's introverted, you think they're shy. Shyness has nothing to do with introversion. Shyness is to do with actually, for example, social judgment. Introversion is just basically, it's not that they dislike social situations. They prefer smaller, quieter social situations, and that's because they're actually really introspective. They're amazing listeners, and they prefer deep, meaningful conversations instead of the social, smaller chit-chat. Okay. So it's not that they're not social, it's just that these bigger, louder social situations overwhelm them. So I think we kind of have this idea about them that necessarily isn't always true.
Yeah. How do we play to our strengths then? If you are an introvert, an extrovert, or myself and Tommy now are an ambivert, we know that. How do you play to those strengths?
It's about, first of all, reflecting to kind of figure out actually how do social situations impact me. So if you're an ambivert, it might be like, okay, I absolutely love socialising, but I know I kind of have a cut-off for that. It also is about realising, okay, that means I'm a really good listener. I'm also a really good communicator. It means I'm adaptable and flexible, usually have higher levels of empathy. So it's about actually going, wow, I have all of these amazing traits that I can actually use.
And bring to a workplace level or something like that.
Yeah, if we think about ambiverts, they're amazing leaders, because they can work in solitude. There we go. We can work in solitude. But also what we can do is we can put ourselves forward for those social situations and leading teams. If we're introverted, we might struggle with that. But it's amazing to know what you are, because also you can learn maybe better skill sets, or you can work on areas that you struggle in that might be impacting your work, for example.
Is it important then for bosses or other people in a work environment or school, whatever else, would know what each member of their team might be and how they address going about issues?
Absolutely. I think this is fundamental to a good leader and for an organisation, because if you think about just different roles kind of organically, you'll need someone with certain traits, and it's about making sure we're using all of their strengths while making sure that we're using communicating styles that work best for them, but also bringing in the collaboration. A company needs all sorts of personalities in order for it to work successfully as well. So it's really important that we know, and that we know about our friends as well, you know.
But if you are an introvert and you're in a job that you have to go out and meet people all the time, you have to close deals and stuff like that.
Go to a different job.
Are you in the wrong job?
If it drains you, yeah.
So you're going home drained every day.
If you're dreading that job, if you're getting anxiety, if you're overwhelmed, like I would hear people that they would finish work on a Friday and they would need to stay at home and isolate themselves and do nothing all weekend in order for them to be able to do it again on Monday.
Right.
And that's really unfair. So it is about looking actually, what does my job do? What does, like, if I put myself into these social situations, how am I feeling afterwards? That's the most important thing.
I'd say if our extroverts with this whole working from home would find very difficult as well.
Yeah. So difficult. Yeah. If we think about it.
Not seeing anyone all day.
Yeah, absolutely. So they feel so drained after that.
Very, very interesting. We'd love to hear from you this as well at home. 0896 111 111. An ambivert.
We're an ambivert, Tommy. We're both ambiverts.
Dr. Tara Logan Buckley. Great to have you with us. Thank you, Tara.
So much.
Thank you.